What is up, guys? You're very welcome to Road Rogues Volume 8 here on Degenerate Watch. Thank you very much for joining me. In this episode of Road Rogues, which is our dashcam special, we're going to be focusing solely on some of the scams which you can avoid being conned by having yourself a dashcam. A dashcam is a great objective witness that never lies, that's there to cover your back in the event that something goes wrong. And in this episode we're going to have some great examples of people who, had they not had a dashcam recording what was going on, they may have been on the hook for a lot of money and possibly in trouble with the law also. We're also going to take a quick look at the dashcam that I myself use, and we're going to see some clips from that as well. I'll also give you some of my thoughts and opinions on what I look for in a dashcam. So really there's been no better time than now to go out and equip yourself with a dashcam just to cover your back, and with Christmas coming up it might be a nice thing to throw on the gift list. And as always, don't forget to let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So with all that being said, let's hop right into today's video. Enjoy! In these couple of clips we're going to take a look at the practice of either rolling back or reversing into somebody that's behind you. Sometimes they'll even go so far as to overtake the victim car and then sharply apply the brakes. And if the victim doesn't run into the back of them, they may then attempt to roll or reverse into them. It's kind of hard to tell if the driver of the Civic there was genuinely distracted, but for me he was rolling back for quite some time, so it's a bit hard to believe that he didn't know what he was doing. But luckily for our driver here, he managed to be covered by his dashcam, because as you know, a lot of the time when you're involved in a rear end like this, it's normally the person that's behind that's normally found to be at fault. And that's what these scammers use to their advantage in these situations. And as you'll see, the dashcam proves vital in this situation to protect the driver. If there was a little bit of doubt in our first clip, there's definitely none here. This is a clear-cut scam, because we could all quite plainly see the reverse lights coming on just before they reverse rammed the car. And of course now they'll get out and attempt to play the victims here. But unfortunately for them, and luckily for our driver, that he's managed to capture it all on dashcam. So the only thing left to do for our scammers is to try to effect a quick exit from the scene. And I'd love to know what excuse the BMW driver is actually given here for why this occurred. But as you can probably imagine, it's probably some lame duck excuse in order to save face a bit. The whole point of this dashcam special about scams is to show you how quickly and easily you can end up becoming a victim of these people. And this clip here from the UK is a prime example of the old locking up on the brakes technique. And as you can see from the clip there, they had absolutely no reason whatsoever to be braking like that. It's just clearly an elaborate scam. And what's the bet's that to be nothing but a ton of personal injury claims coming out of that car. So again, luckily for our driver, he was covered by the dashcam. We're rolling right on into our next clip now, where I believe there may have been a little bit of a road rage incident just prior to this clip being recorded. I draw that conclusion from the standard hand gestures out the window from the car in front, which normally is an indication of some sort of bother having went on. And this man in front is clearly not happy, as you can tell by his rage slamming it into reverse and his continuing to gesture out the window. And there you go, folks, an absolutely unhinged moment of madness there, where he just decides to slam on the brakes just to teach the guy behind him a lesson, because, you know, he has to nurse his ego a bit. But unfortunately for our tough guy here, it's all being captured on dashcam. Maybe he's just upset that he's going to be late to WrestleMania now to do his walkout. But as I said, luckily for our gentleman here, it would have been his word against the other guy's word, and the police and the insurance companies would have had to sort it out. A big waste of everybody's time all over some dude's ego. The mercury is certainly rising here in our next clip, and we have another ego at play. And as you'll see from the text on screen, our driver is explaining what the situation is. A shocking example of very dangerous and aggressive driving here, and all just to teach somebody a lesson. And a total blatant disregard for everybody else around our safety.
you moved into my lane and hit me, I got you on dash cam. I got you on dash cam, so good luck.
I got it too.
Okay. Okay.
I love the way she's saying from behind. She moved across into his lane as she was overtaking him. And she also says that she caught it on cam too, so that's great, isn't it? There'll be two angles of her being an idiot. But if the truth be known, we really all know that that's a big bunch of horse manure. You're just sick because you weren't expecting this guy to have a dash cam. But as you can see from what the driver's saying, as soon as the police showed up, seeing the video and all that, she was just changing her tune immediately. And with having no brake lights as well, I think she was going out looking for these type of incidents. Moving on into our next clip now, and I think the scammer's tactic here is to just park up at a stop sign and wait for some unsuspecting victim to stop behind him. Fortunately for the driver of the silver car ahead of us, he decides to pull out around the SUV as he doesn't seem to be moving and has put his reversing lights on. Absolutely insane behaviour there, just waiting there for someone to pull up behind just to reverse ram them in order to make a claim. And as you see here, our driver had the foresight to reverse back a little bit just to make sure that these people weren't up to anything else. And as you can see here, there's quite substantial damage done to the victim's car and very little done to the offending SUV. So fortunately for our driver, he was covered by his dashcam and didn't have to fork out for this. So as you've seen so far in the video, all our drivers managed to avoid a hefty bill by being covered by their trusty dashcams. And in our next couple of clips coming up, we're going to take a look at another practice which involves pedestrians on the street jumping onto the road or diving onto bonnets of cars and pretending that they've been struck. And as you can imagine, this is probably even more scary because if they manage to pull the wool over the authorities' eyes and the insurance eyes, then you could be on the hook for an awful lot of money. Supposing that person had some sort of pre-existing injury before all of this nonsense and then you get left for the medical bills. Because a personal injury claim seeking costs for medical bills will be a lot more substantially expensive than paying for a few cracked bumpers and a few smashed headlights. So obviously for these scammers, this sort of practice can be quite lucrative. And as well, sometimes these scammers will have a planted witness standing on the side of the road, and if it's a quiet street and there's nobody else around, it's kind of their word against yours, and if they go to a doctor and they manage to prove some sort of an injury, well then their claim's looking a bit stronger. So as you'll see in the next couple of clips, a few drivers saved an awful lot of heartache and hassle because they had a dashcam. Why did the scammer cross the road? In order to dive on cars and get a payday, of course. A very, very, very poor attempt at this, if I must say so myself. This must be the position she gets into in parking lots where she wants to pretend she's being crushed against the wall. She's just forgotten she's in the middle of an open street. But unlucky lady, it didn't work this time. Oh, how charming, the finger. This guy's been working on his dive game, but he's going to have a sore head in the morning. This young fella here has decided to set himself up for the rest of his life and not have to work with a nice little claim and Oscar nominations for the intense breathing here. But he's decided that he's not injured enough, so decides to embellish the situation even more by sliding dramatically off the bonnet. But he seems to recover quickly after being told by the driver that he's been caught on camera. A situation that could have turned tricky here for the driver had he not had a dashcam covering him. And unfortunately for our budding young scammer here, he's going to have to find another career path. My suggestion would be that he heads straight to the airport, gets a plane to Hollywood and then starts looking for work as a stuntman. And here's a bit of advice that you've never heard before, kids. Stay in school. We've got an amateur in this next clip as this guy really needs to work on his timing, plus his direction of fall. Very unconvincing. From Russia, but with definitely no love in this clip, as this lady seems to be having a bit of a standoff with our motorist here. What could be the problem? Surely she's not trying to get some sort of bogus insurance claim. Oh. Either it's time for a nap or we are trying to head straight to the bank with that. But as I've said before, thank God for our dash-mounted witness, as there is no danger of our motorist getting caught up in any sticky situations with this woman. This video may be from 2012, but I have it on good authority that that woman's still lying there waiting for a payout. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little montage of clips there. Some absolute chancers and some downright stupid people also. Now, there's no stronger argument for having a dash cam to protect yourself than this lady here. People like this are absolutely dangerous, and in cases like this, it's always good to have some sort of a witness to back yourself up. Because with the sort of dramatics this lady's pulling off here, you'd never know what she'd be accused of. And let's be honest here, if she does any damage lashing out at the car like that, well then he's going to be looking for a payout off her. And all she's really achieving is just making an absolute show of herself in front of the whole town here, it seems, because everyone's come out to have a look, and all our poor unfortunate driver wants to do is just get out of here. But that's not on the agenda for this lady here, as she tries to fabricate any sort of an excuse. It's just absolutely laughable here. I'm sorry lady, I don't care what non-existent collision scene that you're pointing at there. I don't give a damn what's happening there in a non-existent collision. You're going to love this next plot twist right here. Carrying on the amateur dramatics in front of what I think may be a local police officer. I'm not quite sure, could be a security guard, but I think he may be a police officer. What's absolutely hilarious here is it's just claim at all costs with this lady here. That's the mentality. She's in this tunnel vision of continuing on this dramatic show in order to like get this claim she's after. And how has she not noticed the dash cam? It's just desperate at this stage. Give it up. And I don't know how many times she's alleging he has collided with her, because she's got up and got back down so many times. It kind of reminds me of that song. The streets are this lady's stage. That's why they're going to rename this street to Broadway shortly. It goes to show you, not only do these scammers not have any morals, they don't seem to have any brains either, because this was never going to work out. But luckily she's decided to throw in the towel. I have a bonus clip for you guys from Dublin here in Ireland, where a young fella on a bicycle is trying to pull a scam on somebody, but unluckily for him the guy has a dash cam. This clip was widely circulated on social media around the time it happened, and when I seen it, it really opened my eyes to just how crucial it is to have a dash cam, especially when there's chancers like this guy lurking about. So let's take a look.
Then go this way. Go to right, yes?
Yeah. Okay.
And then left. I know it's all road is in the image. I know it.
Now he's at the.
You see? Oh.
He has you on video cam acting the. You stupid. You're a stupid little.
So now that we've looked at a couple of different clips of the different scams that you could end up falling victim to, and we've seen the merits of actually having your back covered and having things recorded on a dash cam, we're going to take a look at the camera that I use. Some of the reasons why I decided to purchase the dash cam were, as you can tell, looking at clips like the ones we've seen in this video, and also just thinking about the general hassle and headache that comes with someone getting into a situation with you where it's their word against yours. It's nice to have something there to back you up. And from looking at stories from different people who managed to be saved from a lot of hassle by having a dash cam, I thought that it'd be a decent investment to make. And obviously as well, with road rogues here on the channel, it's always good to have something running in case we manage to pick up something for one of the episodes. So the dash cam that I use is a Motorola MDC500GW. It's a dual camera setup with one camera covering the front and one covering the rear. The front camera records in 1080p and the rear camera records in 720p. And all recorded at 30 frames per second, and it also has a 150-degree field of view. It also features a 2-inch LCD display so you can look back on your clips. It also features an inbuilt speaker and a microphone. For storage, the camera takes a micro SD memory card of up to 32 gigabytes. It also comes equipped with Wi-Fi and GPS also. You can connect the dashcam to your mobile phone over Wi-Fi, and you can download the Hubble Dashcam app where you can download your videos and share them easily. For the price point that this camera was at, I think it was about €99 at the time, and along with the SD card it came to about €125, €130. But at that price point, with all the features that it had, I thought it was really good value, especially with having the two cameras on it, which was something I was really looking for. There are obviously much more expensive cameras out there that have more features on them, and there are obviously cheaper ones. There's a cheaper version of this camera that doesn't have the Wi-Fi, the GPS or the dual camera setup. But for the price point this was at, was right in my budget and I had all the features I was looking for. Now I know a lot of my viewers that watch these videos are from the United States, so I'm not 100% sure if you can actually get that over there. I purchased that from a store here in Ireland called Argos. They also have it in the UK as well. But it's quite an old camera now at this stage because I've had it for about maybe a year or two, and I think it was out a while before then. So I don't know if it's still in production, but there obviously will be something similar out there. But I'm just showing you this to kind of give you an idea of the different features that you can get in a dash cam and kind of what I look for as well. And kind of from the experience of having it, if there's anything I'd change. And to be quite honest, no, not really. Like, I haven't really thought about upgrading or changing to another dash cam. This does everything I need. Another great feature on it that I was actually looking for was loop recording. And what loop recording is that it'll keep recording footage until it detects a collision, and then it'll save that collision. But what's handy about loop recording is that there's a continuous recording of footage, so it's great if you want to get some B-roll or some stock footage. And I'd recommend to anyone going to purchase a dash cam to look for one that has loop recording on it. Another thing I'd recommend is to definitely get a camera with 2 cameras on it. One for the front, one for the rear. Regardless whether they're all on the one unit or it's a separate camera mounted in the rear window, it's always good to have both angles covered. And I know this from experience because very recently there, I'd say a couple of months ago, maybe I think it was the end of August, a lady reversed into me, and the fact that I had the dash cam, you know, made me feel a bit better because, you know, I knew I wasn't at fault and I was afraid that she might kind of start saying, oh, you know, this, that or the other. So it was nice to know that I had that there to back me up. But when I got out and had a look, there was no real damage. It was a tiny little scratch. There was actually more damage done to her car. I had some pizzas that I had just collected going cold on the passenger seat of my car, so we just decided, look, it's not really worth it. No harm done, nobody's injured, so we went our separate ways. And out of respect for that lady and the fact that we settled things amicably, I'm not going to show the footage of that. And basically there was nothing really in it either, it was only a little tap, so accidents do happen. But as I said, at the same time, it's great to have that peace of mind there. Another cool little feature that it has is the parking mode, which you can activate, and that if the car gets a knock or a bang when you've left it in the car park or outside your house or something like that, you'll get some footage of the perpetrator. So as you can see, having a dash cam is a nice little extra insurance policy to have just in case things do unfortunately go wrong. And to be honest, I can see that's the way things are going to be going in the future. All new cars will probably come equipped as standard with a dash cam. Because you already see it in some of the higher end cars, and also some cars now have a rear reverse cam, so I can see that coming very shortly down the road. But if you do take anything from this video, it is the fact that on today's roads you don't know who you're meeting and you don't know what people are out there looking to make a quick buck, so it's always good to have your back covered and you're not always going to have someone with you or a witness around. My main tips are to make sure you get a camera that has front and rear coverage just to make sure all angles are covered. Make sure you get a camera with loop recording, and also if you can get the one with GPS, do that as well. And obviously the higher quality of the camera that you can get, the better. But anything 720p and above should suffice well enough to be able to get some good information if you are ever involved in a collision. Well, I hope you guys took something away from that video, and I hope it got you thinking maybe about purchasing a dash cam for yourself. And it has been quite a different episode of Road Rogues than usual. But I've been working on this for a little bit and I just did want to get across the importance of dash cams, especially on today's roads. So I really do hope you did enjoy that, and as always, don't forget to drop us a like if you did, as it really does help the channel out. And seeing as this was a longer than usual episode of Road Rogues, for anybody that stuck with me till the end, I thank you very much, and I'm going to have a few extra bonus clips to play us out at the end, so stick around for that. And my apologies to anybody that's been waiting for a video. It's been quite a while since we posted our last video, but things should be back to normal now and we should get a few more videos coming very shortly, including that live stream that I've been banging on about for so long. Don't forget to follow us over on social media. All links are down below in the description. It'll keep you up to date on what's happening here on the channel. If you like what we do here at Degenerate Watch and you'd like to help support the channel, there's a couple of links down below in the description where you can do that also. I'll be back very soon with another video here on Degenerate Watch, and please don't forget to check out one of the videos at the end of this video. But now, as promised, here's a few clips to play us out. Until next time guys, stay safe, take care, peace.